I saved a venomous snake from being killed by some strange 13-year-olds, and I was not injured in any way. I guess I have to say alligator because that's what you have. Nobody eats alligator outside of like the South, especially in Florida. They're all over the place. It was gross. Some people like it, but it was gross. Me and my companion were teaching this old lady who had every health issue in the book. Like literally she took 22 pills a day, and just teaching her every single time we felt the Spirit so strong because she knew that the church was true. She knew that the plan of salvation was real, and she knew that she would, her pains would be gone after she passed. But she was never able to get baptized because she's always in the hospital and she always relapses. But with her, it was a spiritual explosion every single time we were with her. I learned to see people as Jesus Christ saw them, and that I learned how important that is, like to see the actual worth of somebody's soul and not judge them from the outside, because that is how you could actually love people. That's what you have to do in your mission. You have to love them, and you can't do that if you see them from the outside. See them for what they truly are, including your companions, especially your companions. And I learned that really helps your mission go by a lot easier. I learned how to bake banana bread. That's okay. I could cook a mean banana bread now, and I learned that on my mission, and it was the best thing ever because I actually cook loaves and then I eat them myself. So maybe it's not the best thing ever. I really should stop doing that. But learn banana bread from the Florida Jacksonville mission. You heard it here. One time in Jacksonville Beach, where it wasn't bad. It was a beautiful weather when I was there. The clouds opened and water just poured out like buckets from the sky, and we were stuck under this gazebo where we were talking to people, but we had to go, and the floods were past our ankles, and we were trying to run to the car, and it was just absolutely ridiculous. Of course it was hilarious because as a missionary everything's wonderful, but it was very, very strange, and I think that was the wettest I've ever been in my entire life, outside of a pool, of course. The winter in Jacksonville, surprisingly enough, it got down to 27 degrees Fahrenheit, and that is not a Florida thing. We literally had stockings and we were bundled, and that sounds ridiculous because 27 degrees in someplace else, it's not that bad. But in Florida, it's the worst because of the humidity. So it gets to your bones and you feel like an old woman. So that was a very strange week where we had 20-degree weather, 30-degree weather, and then the next week it got to be 98 degrees. So that's Florida in a nutshell, if you were wondering. One day the morning it was 88 one morning, and then the evening it became 34, all in the same day, and it was so confusing. Oh, it snowed in Jacksonville, not where I was though. It snowed for a day, and that's really strange. It doesn't snow in Florida, so that was a weird time for us, but it was an experience. It's very essential to trust in the Lord, and you have physical limitations, you have spiritual limitations, and it was very hard for me to acknowledge the fact that I could not do everything. And I actually hurt my back on my mission, and so I was kind of in and out a lot, and that was very, very hard for me to just, I'm here, why aren't I able to do what everybody else does or be as consistent? So I learned that sometimes you're given experiences to humble you and to truly trust in God and to pray to Him more. Sometimes things happen that you can't explain, but just know it's a reason for you to pray, and it's a reason for you to get closer to Him and to know what He actually wants you to do. Coming home was kind of hard for me because I'm horrible at adjusting to anything, but I learned that the more you put yourself out there, you will be uncomfortable, more or less, and sometimes I feel like a robot a lot, but you have to put yourself out there, you have to pray, you have to trust that the Lord put you in the right place, you trust that He put you in the right area on your mission, you have to trust that He brought you home, and you have to trust that where you are is where you need to be. So continue obviously praying and reading and going to the temple, but just know that where you are is where you have to be, and don't fight against it, because then you will be awkward.